Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. But before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter, that is linked down in the description, and also on my channel page here. And join the Discord, that is also linked down in the description. But today I'm going to be doing my updated house prediction map for the month of May. I've been doing these each month. I've been doing prediction maps. I did a best case scenario for the Republicans and a best case scenario for the Democrats for the House map as well, so you should check that out. I'll have that in the cards, both of those, the best case scenario for Republicans and best case scenario for Democrats. But I'm going to be going on the general consensus, the 2020 consensus, just going down the seats, how I think that they're going to go come November, whether Democrats can keep the House, whether Democrats can gain some seats, how many seats they're going to lose. We're just going to be going through that. I'm going to be going through each seat, predicting how it is going to go. Currently, the Democrats have 232 seats in the House, and the Republicans have 200. And I'm just going to be going through each of the seats here, so let's get started with this. First, TJ Cox, I believe he will keep his seat. He didn't win by very much in 2018, and he's a freshman Democrat, but it is a very blue district. And while Joe Biden might not do as well in California, I do believe that TJ Cox will still win his seat. Same thing with all these seats here in California, Jill Cisneros and Harley Rauda, as well as I think Lucy McBath's seat is going to stay. Georgia is a trending state. If you look at this district, it went to Obama, it went to McCain and Romney very heavily, and then only went to Trump by 1.5 percentage points. I expect that trend to continue. This may be a blue district this time anyway, and so I think that Lucy McBath will win her seat. Georgia's seventh seat, I believe if this was 2 to 4 years later, Georgia's seventh would have flipped, because if you look at this district, it went to Trump by 6.3 percentage points, but only 4 to 8 years ago, it was going by 20 to 30 points to McCain and Romney. Even as bad as McCain was as a candidate, Hillary Clinton did a lot better in Georgia than Obama did both times, and so that would help in a seat like Georgia's seventh, but it just hasn't trended quick enough yet, and so that seat will stay. As for the Iowa seats, I think 2 of them will stay with the Democrats and 1 of them will flip. The second seat will flip, and the first and third will stay. The second seat is an open election. You had David Loebsack, who's been around since the wave year that Democrats had in 2006. This used to be a more Democratic district. Now it's a Republican district, and it's the most Republican district out of these 3 seats here. And so I do believe that David Loebsack will keep his seat. No, not David Loebsack. David Loebsack is retiring, and so a Republican is going to take his seat against the Democrat, but the other 2 seats will stay the same. The next one is Rodney Davis. I believe he will narrowly keep his seat. This is Chicago suburbs. That again, it's Illinois. It's been trending. Chicago suburbs are trending blue, and I believe that Rodney Davis will narrowly keep his seat. Same thing with Lauren Underwood. I think she might win even by a larger margin than 5 points, just because of how the suburbs are changing across the country. Although I do think the Maine's second district is going to flip. You have Jared Golden here, who only won because of the ranked choice voting, which, it's a completely legitimate form of voting. But he didn't get more votes, and if you don't have the same type of independent candidate, it might not be to his benefit this time, and I do believe that he is going to lose this seat. It's a very heavily Trump district, and he barely won, even with the second ballot on the ranked choice voting. Justin Amash is not running, so that seat's going to go to a Republican, probably by a likely margin, to be honest. Alyssa Slotkin, she is going to keep her seat. I do think that she will keep her seat. Minnesota's 7th district, I also believe that Colin Peterson will keep his seat. He's been around for a very long time. He survived a lot of bad years for Democrats, 2010, 2014, 2016, and it is a very heavily Trump district, but he did vote against impeachment, and in a district that's that heavily Trump supporters, there's so many Trump supporters in that district, it went to Trump so heavily that voting for impeachment in that district will make a difference, but he didn't vote for impeachment, and so I do think that that district is going to stay with him. And these 2 North Carolina seats here, you can see that they are flips here. And so, I mean, because of redistricting that was done in North Carolina, it's basically given the Democrats 2 seats. So these are both going to be flips, North Carolina's 2nd district and North Carolina's 6th district. Nebraska's 2nd, I do believe, will stay, but it has been trending. Maybe if Trump wins in 2020, this district will probably go to the blue column if Democrats have a wave year in 2022. Chris Pappas will keep his seat. Jeff Van Drew will keep his seat as well. Andy Kim, I do believe, is narrowly going to keep his seat. He only won by 1.2 percentage points, but he is a good candidate, and I don't know of many good candidates running in New Jersey's 3rd district at the moment, but it is quite a heavy Trump district, although Obama did win it both times, so if Biden can outperform the margins that Hillary did, I believe Andy Kim will win as well. But the district of New Mexico's second district is going to flip. I do think Xochitl Torres Small is running against the person she beat in 2018, which could be better for her or could be worse for her. But I do believe that she will end up losing at the end of the day. It is just such a heavy Trump district. Peter King, this is kind of like Georgia's 7th. It's been trending heavily to the blue column. If this was 2 to 4 years later, this district probably would have gone to the blue column. This is the Long Island area of New York. But for now, I'll put it a lean margin because it is an open election. Max Rose in New York's 11th, I do believe will narrowly lose his seat. This is the district that again went to Obama both times, but Trump won by a pretty substantial margin. It's the Staten Island area and a bit of Brooklyn in New York City, which is a heavily Republican area, but it is very suburban, and so that could trend it back to the blue column. But as of now, I do think that my prediction for November for Max Rose in New York's 11th district would be a flip to the Republican column. Anthony Delgado, I do think will narrowly keep his seat, but I do think that Anthony Brindisi's seat will narrowly flip. He's in a heavily Trump district, and he barely won to begin with, so he will lose by probably 2 to 3 points. Kendra Horn, I do believe, is going to flip as well. Her seat, it was kind of a fluke that she won in the first place, and I don't think she'll be able to do it again. Scott Perry will keep his seat. I don't even know why it's there, to be honest. I think he'll probably win by a likely margin, honestly. Joe Cunningham's seat is also going to be a flip. It was almost like a fluke that he won here as well, by the same margin that Kendra Horn won, and it's almost the same margin of the vote that went to Trump. And so I do think that this seat is also going to flip. Pete Olson, I do believe, narrowly will keep his seat, although Texas is heavily trending. Will Hurd, I do believe this seat is going to flip for the Democrats. He's not running. None of these people are running here, and I do believe Kenny Merchant. Democrats do have a good candidate here, but for now, I don't know whether it's going to flip, so I'll put it in the lean margin. That's how I think it'll go in November. And then Ben McAdams, it puts it as a lean Democrat, but I'm actually going to put it at a lean Republican. I don't believe Democrats are going to be able to keep this seat. Again, it only says 6.7% margin for Donald Trump because you had Evan McMullin there that got 20% of the vote. And so I do think that that state is going to flip to the Republican column. Elaine Lurie will keep her seat, and I also think Abigail Spanberger will keep her seat as well. Virginia has been a state that is trending blue. It didn't go to Bill Clinton. It went to Bush. It went to Bush, the first Bush and the second Bush. It went to Reagan. It didn't even go to Clinton. But then Obama won it both times, and Clinton won it, and now it looks like Joe Biden's going to win it almost by a safe margin. This state has heavily been trending blue, and I believe that that can carry Abigail Spanberger over the line as well. So now we have done all of these seats here. So this is just the general consensus, the 2020 consensus. It's the combined models from all three projections of how the races are going to go. And a lot of these could easily change. I'm predicting these for how they're going to go in November. We don't know how excessive or how large the trends are going to be in Texas because we know Texas is a trending state. We know Georgia is a trending state. We know Arizona is a trending state. But how is that going to play into the House races? Can Republicans flip in a state that is trending against them? Can Republicans flip Virginia's 7th district? Can they flip, can they flip any of the New York seats, New York 11th seat? And if Republicans do win with Donald Trump and don't win the House, it'll be a similar story to Obama. Obama had both houses of Congress for 2 years and then lost them. For the rest of his presidency, except for the Senate. He had the Senate for 6 years, had the House for 2 years. Donald Trump could have a similar story. He has the House for 2 years and has the Senate for 6 years. That's a very similar story that you can see here. You see the gridlock continues in Washington with Donald Trump reelected president in this scenario. But, anything really could happen. But to do the grand reveal of how these seats are going to go, we'll scroll up here to see that the final map has 229 Democrats and 206 Republicans. This is a net gain of 3 for the Republicans. Democrats flipped 3 seats. They flipped North Carolina 2nd, North Carolina 6th, and they also flipped the Texas is 23rd. Republicans flipped Iowa 2nd, Maine 2nd, New Mexico 2nd, New York's 11th, New York's 22nd, Oklahoma's 5th, South Carolina's 1st, and Utah's 4th. So they were able to flip a lot of seats that they were expected to flip in my prediction, but they're going to need a lot more than this if they want to take back the House, which I really do not see as a likely scenario. You see a lot of these districts have trended away from them. If you look at Arizona's 2nd district, for example, this is the seat here with Ann Kirkpatrick here, or even Tom O'Halloran's seat. They're now in the likely margins. They're trending away from the GOP. You could see a similar story in Virginia. You can see a similar story in Texas. The only areas they're really going to be able to gain, and you could think, are the Rust Belt, but then you also think that the Rust Belt was so heavily gerrymandered against the Democrats after the 2010 redistricting that there really isn't much room for Republicans to gain on, even with the gerrymandering that you could do and the trends that you have. So Republicans are really in trouble here if you look at it. They're going to lose seats in Georgia. They're going to lose seats in Texas inevitably. They're going to lose seats in Arizona unless they can make it up by winning big in the Rust Belt, gaining in the Northeast, even gaining in California. They're not going to win the House back for quite a long time. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe as always. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and I will see you guys later.